built on relationships, focused on people, and rooted in the community. Welcome to the Build Blue podcast. Tune in for weekly episodes featuring guests who are building a better tomorrow. You'll hear inspiring stories from industry leaders, business owners, community partners, and our team members. The Build Blue podcast, where construction comes to life. An APX Construction Group production. Hello, this is episode 2 of the Build Blue podcast, a production of APX Construction Group. And my name is Jess Blaze. I'm the Business and Community Relations Manager here at APX Construction. And I am joined by our Vice President of Sales and Marketing, Jamie Jacobs.
Wow, that was quite the introduction, Jess.
Thanks.
It's like you've done this before.
This is the second episode, so I've done it once.
Once before. Professional podcaster.
Thank you for coming down the hall to the podcast studio.
Yeah, I like what you've done with the place here. You got a great setup.
We have lights, we have cameras.
Who knew?
So you can see our podcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you can also listen wherever you prefer to listen to your podcast. So we're worldwide, global.
Getting there.
So Jamie, you are such a brand advocate for Apex Construction Group. You tell a great story, and you tell us a better story than I ever could. So that's why we wanted to have you on to talk about this great company that we work for and like what makes us different when it comes to general contractors.
Sure. That's a great question. It took me a little while, to get in here, just like you, starting out ground level, getting in, know the team, see the projects, meet the customers, and quickly you start to feel the energy, right? Mm-hmm. And you feel the excitement and the passion behind our teammates as we work to complete these projects. And for honestly, a lack of a better word, help these people make their dreams come true, right? So our team, we are a commercial general contractor. That's an easy box to check, but we truly, I think where we set ourselves apart is kind of on the front end of that, and how we guide that client through the experience of construction, right? So there's a lot of things to do up front, and not everybody knows where to start. And so we have a wealth of knowledge here on our team, our leadership team, our project managers, all of our employees to get the answers. And gosh, if we don't know them, we're going to go find the right person to help us and guide down that path. So we got a lot of cool things going, but yeah, we're very excited and passionate about what we do.
And we met, you and I were in Rochester together, and we met a business owner, and she told us that the most stressful and scariest part of opening a business for her was doing the build out on her building. We didn't do it. She's been up and running, and we just came across her at an event. And I think that's probably common for a lot of business owners. Like, where do I start? How do I get land? What kind of permits do I need? That's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, and you don't know where to start. And I think what happens is everybody's in their comfort zone, whether it's the real estate agent or the financial institution. Everyone's like, start here and then point you to the next guy. And then you hope that all those stars align. And where Apex is really going to handhold you through each of those steps. So we try to make it as easy as possible, help you understand the language as you navigate towards obviously the desired end result, and that's to build a beautiful building. So yes, we're not new to Rochester, but we're opening an office over there. We've done business over there for many years. We have the Oxbow Nature Center going on. We did the Southeast Regional Crisis Center, but we are now building out a team in the Rochester market, and Jess and I have the privilege of helping them and building those relationships over there. So it's exciting to meet new people, but her story isn't all that different from a lot of people we talk to, and it isn't positive, and it's confusing, and it might not meet their budget or their time frame. And so we really try to toss all that upside down from the get-go, and really, we're here to serve you and meet your needs, whatever that might be, whether it's to get it done by a certain time or by a certain price point. Shake out as much information as we can get from them so that we can help them get to their desired results.
Which I think in the short time that I've been here, it seems like our clients and potential clients really appreciate that, and having kind of a voice and an advocate.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just all about asking the right questions, right? So getting excited with them, being passionate about it, listening to them, because sometimes we assume, but we don't always know. So asking those questions and gosh, just kind of listen, let them talk, right?
Right.
Give them the platform, hear them out, and then use our talents to go navigate that for them.
Let's build you a building.
Let's build you a building.
Let's talk about the culture here.
Yep.
Because it's so great. And that sounds cheesy and cliched maybe, but it really is. Like, there's just such a good energy. And coming in as a new person on the team, as a new person who doesn't have a background in construction, commercial or otherwise, everyone just has been so great.
Yes. It's hard, you tell people, oh, I love my job, and you hope they believe you. And I think it's so neat. We have quite a few new employees, yourself included, coming in right now. And it's a pretty common comment that we're hearing amongst all of our new teammates. And they're like, everybody's legit excited to be here every day. We're a bubbly crowd. I always call us kind of a colorful crowd. And I think that's really what we we love what we do, and that transitions into the work we do as well. So I think it's pretty clear once you work with Apex, you'll know what we're talking about.
Yeah, people are proud to work here, from the ownership all the way down to the newest people. I mean, you just really feel like you're immediately welcomed. You're immediately part of the team, and everyone's got a common goal, which is to do really good work for our customers.
Correct. And I think that's where, just with myself coming on board, is trying to challenge the typical thought process, right? And that we all advocate for our brand, and that we're all good stewards of the Apex, mission and what we want to accomplish in our community. And, everybody's got their taglines and what's important to them. And I think truly our team is passionate about our community, whether that's Mankato or Rochester. It's just where we're doing business. And we feel that responsibility to give back in the place we raise our families and choose to live, right?
And I want to talk more about one of our initiatives along those lines in just a second. But I think like this podcast is such a good example. Like, I had worked here for a week. I have a media background, so I'm certainly no stranger to the microphone. But you said, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we did a podcast? And I was like, yeah, all we would really need, is a little bit of equipment and kind of a plan. And you're like, let's do it. And we did it. And that was weeks ago. And here we are with a logo and a name and guests and
a music. We have music we purchased.
And we have music and we have all of this stuff. And it was just like inspired action.
Yep.
Like, and that I keep seeing that theme over and over with so many different elements of the business. And I just think that's really cool.
Well, I think we all get caught up in what we do every day, right? You and I sat through a women's open forum in a round table in Rochester recently. And it was neat that the speaker, she asked us, how did she phrase it? She says, what do you do really well? Like, when people compliment you on what you do really well, what is it? And then you answered it, and then she said, no, go do it better, right? So I think that that's kind of our mentality here is, once we figure out what works well, then let's level up, let's elevate that and do it better. And so continuously challenging ourselves as a company, as individuals, as professionals, as family members, right? How do we find and navigate that life and live and work balance? And I think that pours out into the work we do too.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. I feel embarrassed. I didn't ask you the opening question for the podcast. I was so excited that you were in here. So this is the question that we're asking, and I'm going to have to mix it up eventually because people are going to get wind of what the question is.
Do I know what the question is?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
So if you were going to open and own any business, what would it be?
Ooh, okay. This is easy. When I was growing up, I wanted to do two things. I wanted to be a waitress on roller skates, and I would practice in our basement, like legit, right, guys? I was born in the 80s. It's no secret. I can see the pool table and the red and white striped wallpaper and the red laminate. Oh, yeah. Yep. So that I'm not going to do that. But I also wanted to own hotels. Like, it was my dream. And not to like work. I didn't want to work. I wanted to own them. And then I, just sit in their rooms and watch TV and get food, room service and swim in the pool. So yeah, I wanted to own hotels. So fun fact, Apex is moving forward with 2 hotel projects. So that's newer to our portfolio. And we're very excited. Oh, dropped my phone. So I'm excited to kind of maybe live out that dream a little as we get to work on the construction and design of a couple hotel projects.
It's like you manifested that back in the 80s.
Right?
And now here you are.
Here we are.
Building hotels.
I know, it's very exciting.
Well, we don't build the buildings. My 5-year-old asked me the other morning, Mom, when you go to work, do you actually build the buildings? No, honey, I don't. They don't let me do that. Not yet.
Not yet. We can assure everyone that Jess Blaze will not be building your building or myself.
I'll put on a hard hat and come visit your job site, but I'm not going to build your building.
Yeah.
You're in much better hands with our superintendents and carpenters and steel erectors. And
yes, we have the best team. So we all have our niches, right? So.
And building buildings is not mine.
Nope.
So I want to talk about the Apex Giving campaign. And this is something really cool. It's an initiative, an internal initiative, to encourage our employees to give back and kind of reward them for that too.
It is. And I think it's, so what it is we as a company have committed each year to being involved in our community, whether it's financially or through the gift of labor and, time, either or. But it's always been driven as a team effort. And so we wanted to really get into the weeds on that one and figure out, darn it, what makes everybody tick? Like what's your passion? I have the privilege of emceeing One Bright Star. That's a mission in this community that's personal to me, and in my heart, I have sat on the board for the Minnesota River Builders Association and Minnesota Valley Action Council. Those are important to me, but that doesn't mean it's important to you. So it's us as a team, as a group of individuals that spends a lot of time together figuring out what makes us tick. And we're passionate about this, but there's other things too, right? And so dialing in on that, and then allowing and empowering our employees to go out into the community and volunteer their time. So we're actually matching, we'll pay for their time to go volunteer out in the community, and then we'll double down on that, and we will reimburse them an hour of PTO for every hour they volunteer out in the community. So it's a little extra incentive for doing good and feeling good out there.
And I think this is so cool because it does give people a chance to give back to the issues that they're passionate about. Mm-hmm. And maybe if they haven't, it gives them a chance to think about what those causes and what those organizations are and to get involved.
Correct. And I think sometimes, people don't volunteer because they don't know where to start. Mm-hmm. And obviously that's a crucial part of your role in being here, is helping those employees navigate that, kind of laying it out a la carte, like here's what we have in our community, let's talk about it and dive a little bit deeper in, and then you supporting them and finding that and arranging it for them if they're not comfortable going out and doing it. So we're trying to serve it up in a way that is easy and they can find their way.
And that is nice. I mean, and it's funny because it kind of comes full circle with the way we do business with our customers, like that hand to hold, like a supportive person, a friendly face.
Correct.
And that is part of my role here is with the Apex Giving Initiative. Like, okay, you are passionate about kids. Let's get into that and figure out what cause makes sense for you. Yep. And let me make some introductions. Mm-hmm. And figure out where you can volunteer your time. And
yes.
It all we just tie it up with a little bow, and it's good.
Is. So this is new. We just introduced it to the team at our annual kickoff meeting with everyone, and I think it was very well received. So we'll be rolling that out. But it's we'll still keep doing kind of what we're doing. We have some fun ones in the community. We actually install the pavers at One Bright Star annually. We have been involved with the Kiwanis Holiday Lights as far as putting up their warming shed and installing the doors on the Giving Barn. We were involved with Raw Fusion this year and donation of the event venue, but also heavy lifting on the back end just to make sure that the logistics would work out. So, and we have some new things up our sleeves this year. So I'm excited to see what we do.
And I think it's special, for lack of a better word, like when someone is engaged in an organization, like you are involved with One Bright Star and you emceed their event, and our table was full and we were there supporting you and being there, and you see a lot of that, which I think is also really cool.
So it's important that we show up, right? So we can put money towards things, but it's important that we're also there to support it and be involved from the human level, right? The heart, bring your heart.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and you'll see it. And I think that's too, this is a good example of something that's important to me. And yet we have a couple handfuls of our employees coming to support that. So, and I think you'll see that the longer you're with us here, they'll see a lot of that.
It's wonderful. And you hear that, being a new employee here, when I tell people, because I worked at my last job for a long time. And so a lot of people were surprised that I was going to have a different job. My kids didn't know you could have a different job. Didn't even know that was an option. But when I said I'm going to APX and I'm going to be the business and community relations manager, overwhelmingly everyone was like, God, they're doing great stuff. What a great place to work. You're so lucky to join that team. And that feels really good when you're making a big change to know and feel confident in where you're going.
It does feel good. And, it feels good. Even the calls we're receiving, I think there's no greater thing than like receiving a referral from a past customer, right? So getting that repeat business or someone saying, you know what, these guys did a great job for us, give APX a call. So it's a new year. And to be completely honest, our phones have been ringing off the hook. Our website submissions are crazy. There's a lot of project needs out there. There's a lot of business. So it's fun to go have those conversations and see if we can be the solution to their need. I know not everyone's a perfect fit for one another, but we're always open to the conversation to see if we can fit your needs. So, if you have a project in mind or a dream or don't even know if it works for you, we are happy to go through kind of that discovery process with you about what that would look like, and can you afford it, and can you make it work, and is it feasible, right?
Yeah, where should it go? And
without overcommitting financially or time-wise. So I think APX is a great place to start for the what ifs, right?
And we have fun, and we would love to hear about your dream. We would love to hear your roller skating waitress dream. Everyone has one of those.
I know, it makes me kind of want to walk around the office and ask everybody what they want to be when they grow up.
Like everyone has one of those. Like when I was,
what did you want to be?
I wanted to be a fashion designer.
You're very fashionable.
Thank you. It's my hobby, which sounds weird, but it is. And that I wanted to be a fashion designer. I wanted to go to New York City, and I had a little book where I drew dresses.
So will you design our Raw Fusion outfit this year?
I would love to.
Oh, that'd be
I would
be
absolutely love to.
That's kind of where we met. I mean, got to know each other a little bit more was Raw Fusion this year.
I modeled in Raw Fusion a couple years, and you're one of the founding members of that fabulous event. It's my favorite event.
It's a fun one.
And this past November at the post office, my husband and I had the chance to judge, which was like a completely different side of the event.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
Like, can you be a judge every year? Probably not. But we had so much fun. We absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it was quite the night, and it was neat to take you guys to the post office, and now you'll get to watch the whole evolution of that redevelopment, right? So we are in the midst of finding the right new homeowners of that location, and how we're going to breathe new life into it in this community. So it's
so exciting.
An adventure.
And I think like when you guys made the announcement that Raw Fusion was going to be in the post office, so many people, myself included, only had a frame of reference of that building. Obviously, we knew it was a big building.
Yep.
But we only could think of the lobby.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the only place we had been.
It's the only place you were really allowed.
Yeah. And so when we got to go in the back door in the loading dock and like see how much space there was and how it was already being transformed, it was incredible. It was like such a great night. And I'm just so excited for the new future of the building.
Yeah, we're working with Widseth, as you know, and so we had some renderings come back recently of kind of that main lobby and looking into the event center, and it got really real. It's very exciting, and it's glamorous, and it'll be like nothing this community has ever seen. So
it's going to be so much fun, and we'll have to do more podcast episodes
for sure
as things progress. And I've always loved old buildings and loved old houses and architecture. So to be just like a tiny part on the sidelines of this project just like really fills my cup.
Oh yeah, it'll be a fun one. So, and we'll keep everyone, we'll document that in many ways along the journey. So stay tuned.
Yeah. So on this podcast, as we kind of like wrap up today, we're going to be talking to all kinds of people. We're going to be talking to, of course, we had Andy Wilkie and Jessica Beyer from GMG on our very first episode, and they were so much fun. And we'll be talking to other team members about some of our internal initiatives. We'll be talking to other people in the community, industry leaders. We'll have to get the Woodseth crew on.
For sure.
And just there's just so many people with great stories. And I love this as an outlet to tell those stories.
It looks like we found our voice, Jess.
I guess we did.
We found our voice.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Jamie Jacobs, Vice President of Sales and Marketing at APX Construction Group. You can find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts and also on YouTube, apexconstruction.com. You can find us all over the place. Just Google us up. Google us up. Give us a goog.
Give us a goog.
That is today's episode of the Build Blue podcast. We'll see you next time.